Taurus and Taurus sexual and intimacy compatibility. When two Taurus partners come together, the world ceases to exist as they both knew it before. They discover a pleasure of sex they have never had the opportunity to experience, for they perfectly understand each other's need for touch and the stimulation of all senses. The sign of Taurus is the most sensual sign of the entire zodiac, that is, when they are not too lazy to discover their sexuality. If they don't lack in primal sexual drive, they will probably build a strong and gentle sexual relationship, in which both of them will have their needs met. The problem they might encounter is the possibility that none of them will have enough initiative. Still, they are usually stubborn enough to overcome this small obstacle. Since they share sexual fantasies and ideas about intimacy, with enough openness and communication they should be able to overcome any obstacle they stumble upon. That is, if they don't stubbornly wait for the other person to make the first move. This could make them both wait forever. Taurus and Taurus trust. The problem with their trust issues is not in trust itself, but more in their inability to change. If either one of them has a history of unhealthy relationships in which they were disappointed and let down, it will be very difficult for them to restore trust with their current partner. They can both understand the importance of honesty, but are often too afraid to open up and let someone sink into their true emotional world. This can lead to ridiculous assumptions about each other's behavior and questioning of every word said by both of them. They have the best possible chance to form a relationship based on trust if they haven't had that much experience prior to them coming together. This will allow enough flexibility to set a good foundation and respect each other's need for privacy without mistaking it for cheating. Taurus and Taurus communication and intellect. Although these partners share so many interests and have a similar way of functioning, when they stick to their convictions they rarely decide to let them go even for a second. After all, they both have horns and a tendency to cross them as soon as one of them jumps out of the regular flow of things. It is not easy for Taurus to accept change, so when one of them is at the doorstep of a big shift, they could easily end up in a fight. The partner that is stuck in one place has difficulty to understand why things couldn't stay the same, forever. It will be very hard to explain to them how much pressure the person making a change must have felt in the first place to understand that change is needed. They can be stubborn and closed up for any sort of emotional contact, especially when they get angry or someone hurts them. This is the main reason their communication is not that good at times, for they both have trouble opening up and living in the moment, without the fear of being hurt. The problem here is not the fear itself. Other signs can feel it too, but the lack of awareness that this fear even exists. They should practice intimacy and tell each other embarrassing things and emotional issues they wouldn't share with anyone else, in order to build enough trust and make room for a meaningful dialogue. Taurus and Taurus emotions. The sign of Taurus is an earth sign in which the moon, the ruler all of our emotions, is exalted. The sign itself is ruled by Venus, informing us of its balance and a contribution to the material manifestation of all emotions coming from the moon. This is a never-ending circle, as a system of Earth being circled by the moon, again and again, month after month. There is a fixed, unchangeable nature to this motion, and this is something the sign of Taurus lives with and senses every day. When two Taurus partners come together, and in case none of them has their heart closed up, there is a deep emotional understanding they can share. This can be very rewarding for both of them, for they can both feel the needs of their partner and be able to take care of each other, while enjoying the fact that this time they are also taken care of. Taurus and Taurus values. It is a funny thing to talk about the system of values when we speak of Taurus. This is a sign that represents all value and withholds in itself the price of everything in this world. What a Taurus partner values is primarily someone's respect toward the value itself. Be it the financial value of any object in their surroundings or the value of being loved, the awareness of it is something they consider imperative for their partner to have. Two Taurus in a relationship value values together, and a conflict can arise only if they assign different values to different things. Still, in most cases, they will give enough space to one another to set an individual list of priorities and find a compromise if some things are more valuable to one of them than to the other. Taurus and Taurus shared activities. Not only will they eat and sleep together, but they will also feel so much joy in the fact that they finally have someone to do these things with, without the sense of guilt. The main problem here is that they could easily neglect the needs of their physical bodies for a healthy lifestyle and activity. There is a lot of self-control needed in order for them to stay together and not get overweight or simply too lazy. Summary: the relationship between two Taurus representatives is something to cherish and hold on to, only if they are not both too stubborn in their intent to wait for the other person to make the first move. Because of their emotional and sensual nature, they can be very attentive to each other's needs and take care of one another when necessary. Their problem usually shows only through the double set of horns, making them sink too deep into their differences with no apparent reason. If they could open up to each other, and to their mutual need for change, this is a relationship both of them would find extraordinary.